Hey everybody, it's Jake from the show. Sorry for the audio quality. My microphone is in a moving box and I'm doing this into my phone. This is a free preview of the latest episode of our Patreon feed, paid costly for me. There's a new Lady Gaga album out today, and so we talked to podcaster and film critic and most importantly Lady Gagalogist Nicole Veneto about A Star Is Born from 2018, which started its long production process as a Clint Eastwood movie. So here's a little bit of that. If you like what you hear, you can go over to patreon.com/podcasty for me and hear the rest of it. Enjoy. Let's not move past Shallow too quickly because in my research, I did discover something.
What?
So have you guys heard, about the Yesterday scrambled eggs thing? The placeholder words for the Beatles song Yesterday?
Yeah.
No, actually.
So this is kind of music industry lore that Paul McCartney came up with the melody for Yesterday before he came up with the words. So initially the words were just a bunch of gobbledygook, silly placeholder, but it's very funny to hear this plaintive, sad song, but he's singing scrambled eggs instead of Yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So I discovered a demo of the song Shallow that they didn't have the words put in yet. Ian, I don't know what you're laughing about.
Oh, God.
Sorry, guys.
Lois and Peter, Stewie and Brian, Meg and Chris family guy.
You found this?
Yeah, I found that.
Wow.
I think that
Why are we talking about this?
Mark Ronson singing or something. It sounds like
he broke into Warner Brothers or what?
In his car. It sounds like it might have been early this morning. So don't.
Yeah, it does.
There's actually more. I found some more.
Oh, wow.
It keeps going. Yeah.
Okay.
Herbert the pervert, Quagmire in Cleveland, Joan is pregnant wife.
That's Bonnie. Her name is Bonnie.
Yeah,
She's played by Jennifer Tilly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
it's the meter. It's the
the
cool
meter. See,
mistress.
This is what Lady Gaga refuses to. Lucky there's a family guy. Lucky there's a family. Okay, so anyway, I found that.
Wow, amazing.
I have a question. Do you think when they recorded this, did they have an official guitar track, or did they have to recreate the guitar track themselves?
They had an official guitar track from a YouTube karaoke channel that they found.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Speaking of the ubiquity of the song, Nicole.
Yeah.
I happened to hear this song playing in a drugstore in Tokyo, Japan, and I thought, damn, they really went worldwide with this motherfucker.
Well, they love Lady Gaga in Japan. She's big in Japan.
Sure, makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, it does.
She's a cartoon.
Yeah, she's kind of like a human Vocaloid.
She is a lot like a human Vocaloid, which is maybe why Ian's masturbating right now. Is that one of them? Could be one of the reasons.
Put your hands up, or paws up. Put your paws up.
Put your paws up, Ian. I like that. There was actually some confusion during this scene because when Bradley Cooper kept saying, "Sing into the microphone," and she said, "What is that?" And then he realized she just calls it a phone because she's so small.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, so now they're in love.
Yes.
And he wants her to come on tour with him. And again, it gets into the weird sort of power dynamic-y stuff that is subtext and is interesting to think about, but is not really explored by the film. And
but that's like right where I want it. That's some of the best stuff in the film for me because it's not explored so explicitly.
I really like the scene where they're in the hotel room and she's sort of covering for his drinking to the rest of the she very quickly sort of slots into the kind of managing his addiction. I think that stuff is very interesting.
And she's trying to keep it fun when she knows that his action was partly motivated by jealousy, but that there's no benefit for her calling him out when he's like this.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's maybe still horny for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's like angry, but can also sort of turn the cake on the face thing into
exactly.
Yeah, was it cake or was it looked more like a...
I don't know
was
what
it cake
that
or was it like a cream cheese on a bagel?
That drew...
was it
bagel and cream cheese?
Bagel? It looks sweet, but Nicole, I'm right there with you. That's the type of thing that like visibly caught my attention because I was saying, this is like a circular eclair?
Yeah,
what is he doing?
Is this a donut? Is this an eclair? Is this a bagel and cream cheese? Something I also want to point out, because it's another thing we see early on with Allie that I don't think is really followed through enough, or an avenue they really could have taken with Allie's character if they, by they I mean Bradley Cooper, wanted to.
Yeah.
But there's like some early indication that she's kind of uncomfortable with the idea of fame, like when people are going up to Jackson at that bar, like the drunk cop guy who's like the cop bar, like, you know, taking pictures. She says like, you know, she punches him. She says like, oh, they talk to you like you're not a real person. I forget the character actress, but when they go buy the peas for her hand and she takes a picture, she says,
oh yeah,
it's
Lunel.
Not all. Yeah. She says, well, it's not all right to do that. And so that's like, I would have loved for this movie, and because I fucking love movies about women dealing with like the pressures of fame, like, you know, like that's like Perfect Blue, for example. I would have loved if this had gotten a little Perfect Blue with it, just like the sort of psychological toll of like fame and like what that process feels like, because especially because that is such a quintessential aspect of Lady Gaga. Like her first album is called The Fame, her follow-up The Fame Monster, that is like
she's got that
elemental.
song Paparazzi,
and that is like why I kind of think and I'm sorry I'm rambling here, but that's like kind of why I think her shtick was like weaponizing celebrity and the act of fame, because I think like Britney Spears' big sort of public breakdown that was fueled by paparazzi and fame itself in 2006, 2007, like Britney Spears was a big influence on Lady Gaga. She was the first princess of pop in the 21st century. And I think mentally, I think I look at Lady Gaga, and I think a good way to sort of read her as a like star persona, and that sort of the armor she created for herself, because I think you should really consider sort of her performative aspect of kind of like an armor, like a way of armoring herself against fame. And she says this also in 5'2", like when producers wanted me to be sexy, I always put on I always put some absurd spin on it that made me feel like I was in control. I would have loved to have seen Allie sort of find ways of exerting more control. Guys, can you tell I have a bit of a problem with Allie's characterization in this movie that otherwise quite like?
This is a reasonable objection. I
agree
totally
with
get
you.
it. Yeah.
This leads to a question I want to ask you guys, which is like, what kind of musician is this? That's it. If you want to hear more of this, you have to go to patreon.com/podcasty for me and throw down a tiny bit of U.S. currency, and you can get the digital file of the show. Pretty simple transaction. I don't know why I'm explaining it to you. Patreon.com/podcasty for me. Check it out.